Hello, this is Rosie Amador. I'm a voiceover artist and proud member of Women on Fire. What do you do when the worst thing happens? In the May 2017 membership interview, you will hear how one woman took tragedy and created an inspiring story of love and appreciation. Debbie Phillips, the founder of Women on Fire, spoke with singer-songwriter Kellie Haddock about the horrific 2004 car accident that killed her husband and caused devastating brain injuries to her 14-week-old son. But that heartbreaking story has a beautiful chapter by virtue of Kellie's attitude of gratitude. As the 10th anniversary of the accident approached, Kellie began efforts to track down all of the medical professionals who helped her son along his road to a successful recovery. The YouTube video of her quest to thank those who rescued her and saved her baby's life has now been viewed more than 100 million times. In the interview, Kellie, a Women on Fire member, for the first time shares behind-the-scenes details of how she worked through grief to get to where she is today. She has remarried, is now the mother of 3 children, and is now on tour in support of her 3rd album. If you're not yet part of our Women on Fire membership, please be our guest and listen in as Kellie offers suggestions for ways you can support someone who is grieving.
Linda Neff of Milwaukee asks a really good question about, Kellie, when, I think people are afraid of people who are grieving. And so what is it that people can do when they have a friend who's grieving that can be really helpful? So coming from the standpoint of what was helpful to you when you were going through this horrific grief of losing your husband?
I think meeting them where they are and not trying to explain it is very basic step 1. Just be present and don't try to give answers. At the funeral, a friend showed up with a pretty bag filled with those fancy Kleenexes, that are packaged. And all she said to me was, at least if you're going to cry, you can cry in style. And I loved that. I do that. When people go through loss, that's my go-to response now, because it just acknowledges the ugly in a way that says, I understand, and just here's a little. So every time I use those, I was like, I'm going to cry in style. But it's still so hard, But the other really basic thing that's actually really easy is to put reminders in your phone and think about the less obvious days. So for me, Father's Day, really hard. AJ's birthday, really hard. Our wedding anniversary, hard. Valentine's Day, hard. So some of those days that maybe are a little bit more obscure, but actually sting a whole lot. Just put reminders in your phone and your iPhone, and then your calendar will pop up with an alert, and just send a little text like, hey, thinking of you today. And again, you don't have to know what to say, because it's really better to not say everything. Just knowing that you're not alone in the grief means so much. So just being intentional to remember those moments is really, really valuable.
In the after interview, a very special guest surprises Kellie with a message of support for her brand new album, Wild Love. To hear the rest of this interview, join the Women on Fire monthly membership today. You will become part of what New York Times best-selling author Marianne Williamson calls the ultimate You Go Girl community for inspiration and support. You have only a few more days to receive the full interview with Kellie Haddock, your personalized coaching materials, access to the Women on Fire private Facebook page, and much, much more. Join us today at womenonfire.com/membership. We can't wait to meet you.